Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Zooming in on the topic of narcissistic abuse, when the pain is great enough. Narcissistic abuse can take many forms, and I want to articulate them here for you today. One can be outward physical abuse, where they physically isolate you from your needs. They physically abuse you in terms of violent behavior. Then there's emotional abuse, where they criticize, they shame, they infuriate, they try to provoke you through the negative emotions of fear, obligation, guilt, and a sense of inferiority, making you feel as if you cannot conduct life on your own, you cannot remain autonomous, independent without them being superior to you. Then there's the psychological abuse, where the narcissist will approach your very line of thinking, making you feel as if your values are not worthy. Your thought process is not worthy. You are not worthy to be listened to. You are not worthy to be heard. You are negated or you are minimized. And then there's really the spiritual abuse, where they really tend to violate the very sort of core being in which you are. And that can come at a source of what I've heard a lot of viewers refer to as soul vampires, or they describe this as almost like an evil. So this, and also really comes under the category of depersonalization, which I would say is also a form of soul abuse. I mean, it's at a very deep level, where the abuse is to almost reject you as a living being, if that can be stated. And this is related to the narcissistic and psychopathic abuse of what is called depersonalization, where they try to get you to disconnect, detach, and really become severed, which is a very active word, from your very sort of life source. So your life source is really your internal voice, your internal guiding system, your instinct, your intuition, what you know to be truly right or wrong. This is your life source. It's really your best ally. It's your best friend. It's your internal GPS. It's your God-given ability to understand the coordinates in your life and register when something is good or evil, safe or unsafe, dangerous or not dangerous. So it's really an important sort of internal gauge within the human being. And they try to get you to disconnect from that very being, which I would call really a soul abuse. We really are human beings. We're not human doings. The narcissist very much is caught up in the trap of becoming a human doing. So constantly, going for more, constantly needing, more accolades, more awards, more objects, more cars, bigger watches, and they try, or trying to control more people, trying to exploit others. The prevalence of greed that we see here, where it's the exploitation of the very values, the very fabric of a person, and then they try to sever these. They try to depersonalize, minimize, and abuse, and if not, destroy. Destroy means to destroy. It doesn't mean to hurt or maim. It means to annihilate. That's a very serious and severe situation. And so really trying to come out at underneath that, it really is a requirement to understand that this depersonalization is a tactic of abuse. And when the pain is great enough, when you've absolutely positively know in your mind, body, and spirit that this is abuse is what it is, and you're able to call it as such, you're able to label it as such, you're able to see it as such. You don't need any more proof, you don't need any more drama, you don't need any more examples. You have a foundation of truth, and it's not that you're trying to build up a sort of judgment. It's more coming from a state of knowing. And a state of knowing comes from enough reality testing, enough experience, enough knowing better, and enough personal growth in your life that you can begin to identify what abuse is and have the internal trust to validate and verify for yourself, this is what it is. I no longer have any doubt. I no longer have any confusion. I now do have clarity. I now do have understanding. I do have the ability to identify exactly what it is and call it what it is on a very neutral and objective basis. So oftentimes we have to arrive at this objective basis after going through what I've heard a lot of viewers describe as hell. And that is a very subjective hell. In other words, going through hell is an experience that we do not need to really seek out. Unless you're a glutton for punishment, I don't think a lot of people like to exist in pain for too much long, because really you want to get out of pain. You want to, develop, yes, pain is necessary in life for growth, etc. Pain is a part of life, but, not chronic pain is not a desirable condition. So sometimes we have to emerge through that subjective experience in order to arrive at objective truth. So truly, when the pain is great enough, you need to be able to see things objectively, meaning on a factual basis, and have the fortitude and have the internal trust and self-esteem, which is permission-based, to call it what it is, so you can now disconnect and sever from the abuser and become a human being in peace and harmony. That is the goal, and that is the object where essentially you then begin to exist in empowerment, and you begin to live on that neutral, objective, level playing field, which is where really the beginning of your success and personhood begins to develop. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support.